Hi there. On weekends, we do reruns so that yours truly can take a couple days off. Look for a fresh new episode on Monday. Meanwhile, please enjoy this episode for this day from a previous year. I thank you so much for your indulgence and loyalty, and have a great weekend. Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for May 5th. May 5th is the 125th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 126th in leap years, with 240 days remaining to the end of the year. Cinco de Mayo. This day marks the approximate midpoint of spring in the northern hemisphere and autumn in the southern hemisphere, starting the season at the March equinox. Today's word is inevitable. Inevitable is an adjective that means incapable of being avoided or evaded, such as an inevitable outcome. You may occasionally see it as a noun, as in the inevitable had to come to pass, but it's generally considered an adjective. Inevitable comes to us from Middle English, Latin before that. First known use of the word inevitable is in the 1300s. Inevitable. And with that, speaking of inevitable, in a cascading series of events leading up to the signing of the Magna Carta, barons revolted, renouncing their allegiance to King John of England on May 5th, 1215. Well, okay, so what does that mean? Well, first of all, the term Magna Carta means Great Charter, but we'll come back to that in a minute. King John was born in 1166, the youngest of King Henry II's 10 children, 8 of whom he had with his wife, and 2 illegitimate sons. John was the very last one, the baby of the lot. He was, as I believe most, if not all of them were, handed off to be raised by what we might think of as a nanny rather than being closely attended to and raised by his own parents. I get a little wound up in who did what and then what happened and then, but that's all probably way too much backstory for this event, so we'll just jump to the part where John has become king at about the age of 33 in 1199 and is reported to have been a spiteful, petty, cruel tyrant by the time we get to 1215. He's got the kingdom pretty much constantly at war, mostly with France, and this is horrifically expensive, so he's got to raise a lot of money to support these efforts, and he's not nice about it. He's demanding, and from what I can tell, his behavior has provided much inspiration for fiction writers to follow upon which to base their tyrannical villains. By May 5th, in the year 1215, a number of barons had absolutely had a hatful of King John, and they rebelled, renouncing their allegiance to him, setting in motion events that will result in the writing and signing of the Magna Carta later on in the year. Basically, the Magna Carta states that the king, yes, even the king, must follow the law and could not just simply rule as he wished. This was a remarkable point in history, the Magna Carta. It's thought to be the first written constitution in Europe. It hasn't happened just yet, but this rebellion sets the stage. The rebellion of the barons against the king sets its eventuation in motion, May 5th, 1215. Now, I can't talk about May 5th and not mention Cinco de Mayo. It's easy to think that this is some kind of Mexican Independence Day, but that's not quite accurate. The Mexican Independence Day is celebrated in September. Cinco de Mayo is about that time on May 5th in 1862, when troops led by Ignacio Zaragoza halted a French invasion in the Battle of Puebla in Mexico, a significant event and certainly worth celebrating. Cinco de Mayo. Today's song is Soldier Boy by the Shirelles. This song was written by Luther Dixon and Florence Greenberg and was originally titled I'll Be True to You. As originally written, it made no mention of a soldier. The Shirelles added the soldier motif. It hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 on May 5th, 1962 for the first of 3 weeks. It's been covered by a few other artists and also enjoys a few movie and television features. Soldier Boy by the Shirelles, link in the description. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoyed this series, you can check out the playlist that contains these videos. I'll put a link to that in the description. That description lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page that's called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, BitChute. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Do not disturb.
Okay, I turned Do Not Disturb on.
Good job. Third time better be a charm. There's no thee there. One more time. Attracting. Just read the whole thing over. Are you making some sound? Get on out of here. And we're gonna edit that out. Don't alienate people who can be helpful to you. Flinging happiness all over the place. Alrighty, back to work. I think we got it this time.